Did Micah cost us games? That's the subtext of Jerry Jones' latest swipe, and he didn't hide it. On his 105.3 The Fan appearance, Jones acknowledged Parsons' talent, but then undercut it with this line. While he does make great plays, we didn't exactly win the Super Bowl during those years. To be trite, we lost games with Micah. That soundbite arrived with perfect timing. The Packers' pass rushing prodigy was headed back to AT&T Stadium in a number 1 jersey, facing the team that drafted him. Predictably, it blew up on social media, split fans and pundits, and forced a deeper question. Is Jones making a tactical critique about Parsons' game, a thinly veiled attempt to manage public fallout over the trade, or both? The short answer? A little bit of each. The long answer matters, because what Jones said reveals more about organizational narrative control than it does about Micah Parsons' talent. Context first. The Cowboys traded Parsons to Green Bay in a blockbuster deal that brought Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks back to Dallas. Parsons promptly signed a record-setting deal with the Packers and has been a difference-maker for Green Bay's defense. Both sides have incentive to shape the story. Parsons wants vindication. The Cowboys want to justify moving on. That trade and Parsons' early dominance are plain facts in the backdrop here. Reuters, let's parse Jones' claim on 3 levels: football logic, organizational optics, and rhetorical effect. 1. Football logic. Is there a case on the tape? Jones' on-field critique centers on 2 claims. A. Parsons' highlight plays mask moments where he may have hurt the Cowboys, e.g. being out of position on certain run assignments, and B. The Cowboys didn't win the Super Bowl while Parsons was on the roster. The first is a football true statement in the abstract. Elite, aggressive edge rushers sometimes gamble for splash plays, and that can create scheme vulnerabilities if the rest of the defense doesn't compensate. Coaches routinely game plan around dynamic pass rushers, double teams, chip blocks, rollouts, quick passing concepts. Those are football realities, not moral failings. The second claim is a logical non sequitur. A single defensive star can't be blamed for an organization-wide inability to close championships. You can list missed opportunities and bad playoff outcomes, but pinning franchise-level failure on one player ignores injuries, coaching, roster construction, front office decisions, and plain variance. In short, Jones mixes a valid schematic point with an unfair causal leap. Yahoo Thethau. 2. Organizational optics. Why say this now? Owners talk for 2 audiences, the public and their own stakeholders. Jones' posture serves both. Publicly, it offers a cover story for the trade. Yes, Parsons was great, but he wasn't the missing piece. Internally, it signals to fans and potential critics that the front office acted prudently and that the Cowboys are doubling down on a long-term multi-asset rebuild approach. Those 2 first-rounders matter. It's a classic PR pivot. Reframe loss as choice and choice as strategic. That's not unique to Jones. Executives in all sports do it. But because Jones is Jerry Jones, his offhand lines get amplified into headlines and hot takes. Newsweek 3, the rhetorical effect. Who benefits and who gets hurt? There are 3 immediate consequences. First, Parsons. The remark adds fuel to the "he wasn't a locker room guy" narrative that floated earlier this year. Whether true or exaggerated, that narrative can stick, and it makes every sack, stunt, or shimmy feel like vindication for Green Bay and a rebuke for Dallas. Second, Cowboys locker room and fan base. Jones' line can function as both reassurance, we acted strategically, and deflection, don't blame the front office. That helps soothe some fans, but angers others who saw the trade as a catastrophic loss. Third, the league. Media narratives love conflict. This kind of back and forth sells eyeballs and turns an otherwise routine matchup into must-watch TV. Everyone, networks, advertisers, players with personal brands, benefits from the drama. So what's the reality check? Let the field decide. If Green Bay's front 4, boosted by Parsons, dominates Dallas again, Jones' words will look defensive, literally and rhetorically. If the Cowboys contain Parsons and win, Jones will get a line to replay. Football outcomes are the ultimate arbiter. The rest is noise. But there's a subtle strategic warning for Jones that deserves attention. When an owner publicly questions a former star's contribution in a way that borders on blaming him for team failures, it risks alienating both current players and future free agents who watch how their former teammates are discussed. Teams win and lose in part because of culture, and culture is fragile. Leaders can try to control narratives, but overreaching ownership soundbites can create locker room unease and give opponents extra motivational juice. Finally, let's be honest about the human edge. Micah Parsons is 26, brimming with swagger, and has been unfairly turned into a symbol of player empowerment, of contract standoffs gone sideways, and of what could have been in Dallas. Jones' line lands not because it's analytically airtight, but because it taps an emotional chord, the myth of what we lost, and the desire to frame the departure as a necessary, even wise choice. Bottom line, Jerry Jones's accusation works as a narrative maneuver. It reframes the trade and protects the organization, but it's thin as a football indictment. Parsons' playmaking is real. A Super Bowl is a team achievement that lives and dies on dozens of variables. In the end, the scoreboard and the film will answer Jones' jab far better than radio talk ever will. If Jones wants the last word, he'll have to earn it on Sunday. And if he loses, expect didn't exactly win the Super Bowl to echo in the AT&T Stadium rafters every time Micah Parsons makes another highlight. CBSSports.com. Jerry Jones just dropped gasoline on one of the NFL's hottest fires, and now the whole country's watching who blinks first. You can make great plays, but we didn't exactly win the Super Bowl those years, Jones said, calling out Micah Parsons after the trade that sent the pass rusher to Green Bay. In plain terms, Jones accuses Parsons of being a game changer on paper, but not the difference maker when it mattered most. That's a serious charge from an owner who's never afraid to speak his mind, and it lands right before Parsons returns to face his old team. Here's why this matters. Parsons wasn't just any player in Dallas. He was the engine of an elite defense and one of the league's most disruptive pass rushers. Trading him for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark was seismic. So when Jones publicly suggests Parsons lost games for the Cowboys, it reframes the narrative from they gave up a superstar to maybe he wasn't the teammate or postseason solution we hoped for. That's not just clubhouse gossip. It's a message aimed at fans, future negotiations, and the national storyline heading into Sunday's game. But let's be honest, the timing is tactical. If Parsons dominates in Green Bay, and early signs suggest he's flourishing in a new front, Jones's words will read like sour grapes. If Parsons struggles, Jones gets to say, "I told you so." Either way, the comments amplify the stakes. This is now about pride, pocketbook optics, and who controls a team's identity. There's also a locker room angle. Reports this summer painted Parsons as polarizing, brilliant on the field, divisive off it. Jones' critique echoes that sentiment without naming names. For current Cowboys, the remark can either unify or fracture. Players who felt Parsons' presence was disruptive may feel vindicated. Others who saw him as irreplaceable might feel defensive. Head coaches and front offices hate distractions, and this one arrives with microphones on full volume. From Green Bay's side, you get a natural motivational pump. Parsons was traded for a reason, to tilt games. If Jones wants to question his clutch value, expect Packers media and fans to replay every big sack, every back-breaking play, as counterproof. That dynamic turns a regular season matchup into a referendum on both teams' decision-making. So what should you watch for on Sunday? Watch Parsons on third down and in short yardage pass rush reps. Watch Cowboys' offensive cohesion. Are they missing more than just talent, like leadership or locker room unity? And watch Jerry Jones' follow-up. Will he double down or will he let the results speak? Bottom line, this is bigger than a single quote. It's a narrative test for Micah Parsons, a pressure test for the Cowboys culture, and primetime theater for the league. Win or lose, Sunday will answer whether Jones's accusation was a truth bomb or just noise. If you think Parsons will silence the critics, hit like. If you side with Jones, drop a comment and tell us why. Don't forget to subscribe for the post-game fallout. This one's going to get loud.